Tonight on Now, a man saves a woman from a fiery car crash in Leamington, and we speak to one of those Good Samaritans.
Plus, we're listening to you, what you think about removing Confederate monuments.
And if you're planning on watching the solar eclipse, you're going to need a pair of these, but you can make them on your own.
This is News Center Now.
A woman is in serious condition at Maine Medical Center tonight, but she might not be alive without the selflessness of a couple from Maine. Hello, I'm Chris Costa in for Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Amanda Hill. The York County Sheriff's Office says 63-year-old Janet Hegeman was driving down Route 25 in Leamington when she lost control and hit a large tree head on.
We spoke to two of the three people who helped rescue her from her burning car. A fight or flight decision.
Another 30 seconds and it would have been too late.
Takes fractions of a second.
That's how close it was. We seen the smoke. We drove up to it.
On their trip back from New Hampshire, Joe Parent and his wife Shirley found a car engulfed in flames.
No ambulances there at all.
Inside, 63-year-old Janet Hegeman.
I knew somebody was going to die if I didn't do it and do it right now. I zoned in on the person in the car and I'd made up my mind.
Joe and another man ran up to the car.
The smoke, when I opened the door, the smoke was just terrible. I could not see. I knew she was coming out and she was coming with me.
All that black smoke, it went pretty high.
Meanwhile, Stan Douglas,
by the time I got there, it would have been way too late.
Was shooting this video on his phone.
Didn't know if she was alive or dead. Oh, if someone didn't stop and help her out, she wouldn't be around today.
Joe has experience in emergency medicine as a volunteer with the Sunday River Ski Patrol.
She said she was hurting big time and people were hollering that the car was going to explode.
Cradling her in his arms, Joe pulled her away from the flaming wreckage, where rescue crews assisted getting her into an ambulance.
I wanted to be a help. I wanted somebody to do it for me if the situation were in reverse.
A split-second decision that may have saved a woman's life.
I didn't care what kind of religion she was or what kind of a person she was or he was. It was another human being. She was coming home. So that's what I did.
Again, at last check, Hegeman was still in serious condition, but the York County Sheriff said she suffered non-life-threatening injuries at the scene.
Really amazing story. Incredible courage they showed going in after her.
And selflessness. That was kind of the key to all of that.
Absolutely. So. All right, switching gears, Keith is gone, but Jess Conley back from her vacation.
So Jess, sounds like a few thunderstorms are moving in overnight.
Yeah, we have a couple showers and thunderstorms out there right now. Overnight tonight, though, it's going to clear out, and it looks pretty good as we go into the rest of the week. We'll zoom in right now so you can see exactly where those are. Just a couple moving into parts of far western Maine. Zooming in even a little bit more, you can see this one here. Mostly with these thunderstorms, it's just some heavy downpours, also a little bit of lightning. Haven't seen really any signs of hail yet or gusty winds, so that's good news. This just moving through the Farmington area at this time, also off to the north and west. You can start to see a little bit more in the way of rainfall there. It'll continue to push off to the east fairly quickly. Eustis, you'll see some pretty heavy rain over the next several minutes, so get ready for that. Again, it looks like we'll really clear out as we head into the day tomorrow, so good news there. With tonight, with these storms, again, torrential rain could lead to some flash flooding. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that. Damaging wind is possible, along with just some small hail. The Storm Prediction Center has us in a marginal risk for severe storms through this evening, but it's looking much better as we get into the day tomorrow. Temperatures right now, not too bad. Most of us in the low to mid 70s, so feeling pretty comfortable. It looks like we'll warm up a little bit as we go into the middle of the week, guys, and we'll see some more sunshine. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit.
Protesters destroyed a Confederate monument in Durham, North Carolina last night. The Soldiers Monument was dedicated in 1924 as they chanted, "No cops, no KKK, no fascist USA." The protesters climbed a ladder and used a strap to topple the statue. Then some spit on or kicked the wreckage. Organizers say the rally was in response to the Charlottesville alt-right gathering that turned deadly this weekend.
North Carolina's governor tweeted a response to the incident saying the Charlottesville violence was unacceptable, but there is a better way to remove these monuments. And many of you were also talking about Confederate monuments on social media today. We asked you on Facebook to tell us if these symbols of Confederacy should be removed. Michelle says yes, she does not need a statue to commemorate America's sin, slavery. Sandy says if they are removed, they should be put into a museum. But what would be next? She says our history is filled with both good and bad, and we should learn from it.
Ruth says no, our country lost people from both sides and both should be remembered. She says these monuments remind us of our past mistakes. Now, ever since the violence in Charlottesville, this conversation about Confederate symbols and racism has certainly taken over social media.
Katie Ortiz is monitoring that conversation. Katie, you told us yesterday about an account that was trying to track down the white supremacists that were photographed in Charlottesville.
Yes, there's a handle called Yes, You're Racist, and it's spreading the pictures of people who participated in the white nationalist rally in hopes of getting them fired from their jobs. Now, the person behind the account is getting death threats himself. Logan Smith is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and he's the communications director for Progress NC. He says he started the Twitter account back in 2012 during the presidential election, but when he saw the images coming out of Virginia, he wanted to do something about it.
They're saying, you know, they're gonna kill me. They're saying, you know, insulting my wife, insulting my family.
Now, more companies are taking social responsibility in the fallout. As we mentioned yesterday, GoDaddy and Google both dropped a neo-Nazi website from their domains. Today, GoFundMe is barring campaigns that support the Charlottesville attacker, or alleged Charlottesville attacker, I should say. I'm sorry, GoFundMe is instead promoting fundraisers for victims injured when Fields allegedly plowed his car into them. Mashable reports that the GoFundMe has removed multiple campaigns for James Fields after he told a judge yesterday that he couldn't afford an attorney. So in a statement, GoFundMe says the campaigns for Fields didn't make any money and they were immediately removed. They said they don't tolerate the promotion of hate or intolerance of any kind. And if a campaign violates GoFundMe's terms of service, they said in the statement that they will remove it from their platform.
All right, thanks, Katie. Meanwhile, in the wake of these events, racial tensions are running high in America. There have been vigils, protests, counter-protests all across the country.
But one man is taking a different approach to bringing an end to racism. Daryl Davis sits down with white supremacists one-on-one, hoping to change their minds.
I formed a question in my mind as an 11-year-old child. How can you hate me when you don't even know me? And so for the next 48, 49 years, I've been seeking the answer to that question. So I began seeking out members of the KKK. Some would talk to me, some would not talk to me. Some want to fight me. But over time, eventually, I would say, yeah, so, what about such and such? And they would give me their opinion. They'd say, well, what do you think, Daryl? Woo. And I would see that happen time and time again. Because now they begin to see me as a human being. And then over time, somehow, my opinion was the impetus for them to rethink their own opinion and eventually drop out of this organization and give up that racist ideology. When I got my first Klan robe, when I saw people start changing, I thought, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I've stumbled onto something. I need to keep doing this. Because when one person changes, it changes a generation.
Davis is from Silver Springs, Maryland, and that story was put together by our media partners in Washington, D.C.
Really interesting story, yeah. All right, still to come on now.
So you know how the news people will blur a license plate out? That's what I have on the right eye, about the size of a pea. So now I can't see around that.
One man still living with the consequences after he watched a solar eclipse without the proper eye protection decades ago.
And we're showing you where you can get the right eyewear and how to make a DIY solar eclipse viewer.
All right, heads up. Camden Police Department warning residents they have evidence of a rabid skunk in the area. The Facebook post says the animal is deceased and the remains were sent to the Maine CDC for testing. As always, if you think you have seen a rabid animal, you should contact your animal control officer or a game warden. Meanwhile, a toxicology report found 5 drugs in Tiger Woods' system when police arrested him for DUI this year.
The report lists 2 painkillers, including Vicodin, the sleep aid Ambien, Xanax, and THC, which is the active ingredient in marijuana. Police in Jupiter, Florida, north of Miami, arrested the golfer. Officers say they found Woods asleep in his car, not far from his home. The next month, Woods checked into a clinic for help dealing with prescription drugs. Woods has undergone 4 back surgeries since 2014. He says in a statement that he'd been trying to treat his back and insomnia on his own and realizes it, quote, was a mistake to do without medical assistance.
All right, rain's starting to come down over parts of the state right now.
Jess Conley is tracking the storms next in her full forecast. And then...
I'm Jessica Gagne, live at Monument Square with info on where you can get your very own pair of solar eclipse viewing glasses and why you need them. That's next. Hey guys, I'm Jessica Gagne, and we are just 6 days away from the solar eclipse. Now, even though we're only going to see a partial eclipse here in Maine, there is still a lot of demand for viewing glasses like these. Just ask the Portland Public Library. They've already handed out more than 500 pairs. Now, if you haven't got yours yet, you still have time, but optometrists are warning that not all glasses are created equal. Books aren't the only things flying off the shelves at the Portland Public Library.
We're kind of experiencing eclipse mania here.
From phone calls,
we are actually out,
to visitors.
They have been very difficult to find.
Mainers are trying to get their hands on a pair of these eclipse glasses.
I can't see you at all.
After handing out 500 pairs, the library purchased 750 more that are due to arrive on Wednesday.
They'll be available at all branch locations except for Peaks.
On a first-come, first-served basis.
I will be here before 10 o'clock standing in line.
The leftovers, if there are any, will be given out at the library's eclipse viewing party on Monday afternoon in Monument Square.
We are expecting maximum eclipse here around 2:45.
If you don't feel like tracking down a pair of glasses like these, optometrists say don't plan on looking directly at the eclipse.
It's going to be a very intriguing event. If you stare at it for a minute to 90 seconds, you'd have permanent, long-lasting damage.
Dr. Benner says sunglasses won't cut it.
If you can see even the clouds through those sunglasses, it's not dark enough.
He recommends using only glasses that come with an ISO certification. The glasses from the library and the pairs his office is handing out have it printed on the side. As much as you may be tempted,
it's not worth it. It's really not.
He says you shouldn't peek up at the eclipse without proper eyewear.
You really got to go for something that that you know will protect your vision, so you can kind of enjoy the event and not think twice about long-lasting effects after.
Along with the library, Casco Bay Eye Care is also handing out 1,000 pairs of eclipse glasses. There's a limit of 1 per family. Now, if you're looking to order some glasses online, NASA also recommends ordering a pair with ISO certification and checking that the manufacturer's name and address is printed somewhere on the product. Here's a list of a few reputable brands. Now, Amazon recently recalled some counterfeit eclipse glasses, saying they might not meet the ISO standards for eye protection. Amazon says those who purchased them have been contacted, but if you're concerned about the glasses that you ordered, you should reach out to customer service. We also have a list of what to look for when it comes to eclipse glasses on our websites. Amanda and Chris, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, so don't just put on those like cheesy 3D glasses you got out of the cereal box. Make note of that.
Good point, Jess.
All right. If you find yourself without glasses, though, come Monday, you can actually make a viewer at home.
So you can use materials that we found around the studio, and our producer put together a shoebox eclipse viewer.
Got it.
cut a white piece of cardboard that will fit snugly in the bottom of the box. So there's my white piece of paper for the viewing screen. Cut a hole at the top of the box. Place a piece of heavy-duty foil or double single layer for extra strength. So I'm supposed to put a pinhole in there. Gaping hole in this. Oh, got it. Cover the entire box. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Huh, well, it's really cloudy today.
The idea is that you point the pinhole at the sun, wherever it is, like this over your shoulder, and then you use the viewfinder to look at the reflection off your white piece of paper.
Okay, here it is.
There you go.
Okay, so learn from our mistakes.
Okay.
Our producer, Rachel, says it would be better if you put the tinfoil closer to the center instead of off to one side. I also kind of think that you maybe are supposed to have the hole on this side.
Okay.
Because I don't know how you
to-
see through the side of it.
Right. Huh. Very, very interesting. Well, we found this version on Live Science, but NASA also has a way to make one using a cereal box, and we posted those instructions to our website.
Nice try, though, Rachel. Okay, so for the
Better than I
last...
could do, that's for sure. Hello.
Your phone's talking to you now.
Yeah.
Last few weeks, we've warned you about the danger. Siri, not now, girl, not now.
We're talking about the eclipse.
Warned you about the dangers of looking directly at the solar eclipse.
That's right. But a few decades ago, there was a young boy who never heard those warnings, and years later, he's still paying the price. Our media partners in Oregon explain.
Right here. I'm probably standing right in those footsteps.
Lou Tomasowski remembers it like it was yesterday. Marshall High School had just let out for the day.
I just wish it would have been a cloudy day.
Lou and good friend Roger walked up to the baseball field to catch the partial eclipse a science teacher had just alerted them to.
Oh yeah, we came up there, and the sun at that time at 3:30 was probably, up in this area at the 1 o'clock position.
The year was 1962.
And I said to Roger, oh, if you stare at it long enough, the brightness goes away.
What seemed like a silly dare at the time turned into one of the biggest mistakes of their lives. By nightfall, both Lou and his buddy were having vision problems.
It doesn't get any worse, and it doesn't get any better.
You heard right. Both men, now 70, still have issues with their vision.
See, you know how the news people will blur a license plate out? That's what I have on the right eye, about the size of a pea. So I can't see around that.
A doctor later told Lou his retina was burned during that partial eclipse. An eye expert we talked with said you don't want to look at the sun without protection for even an instant outside the total eclipse.
I think any time is too much. So any direct, time looking can do damage.
Lou Tomasowski is living proof. While he's excited about August 21st, you won't find him looking towards the sky.
I'm going to go out and enjoy it, but I'm just going to stand and look and watch it get dark. It's going to be over real quick, and it's just not worth taking a chance.
Now, it really doesn't matter the totality of the eclipse. Even a partial eclipse, like what we will see here in Maine, can do serious damage to your eyes.
Yeah, so please spread the word. Make sure your friends and neighbors know that. This is something you also very passionate about.
I am. I was talking to some coworkers about it, right? You have to wear these glasses. Right. You can get them for free at the places we mentioned earlier. Or you can make that fun little arts and crafts project that we had.
Don't mess it up like
earlier.
It'll make the whole viewing experience
kind of fun,
much
right?
more enjoyable,
yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm sure it will. So I have a little graphic to show you about the eclipse here. This is for Portland, so if you're farther north, it's going to be around the same time, but you'll actually see a little bit less of the eclipse. So as it happens, it'll start around 1:30 in Portland. Again, this isn't until next Monday. We'll remind you several times about this. We'll only see about 57% of it here. It'll still be pretty neat, but we are not seeing a total eclipse. The max eclipse will be at 2:45, then it'll end around 4 o'clock. So some pretty interesting stuff here, in my opinion, and it should be pretty neat to look at. All right, tonight we have some showers and thunderstorms out there. Nothing severe, so that's good news. I don't even really think there's anything strong right now. We can zoom in a little bit and see the majority of it is over far western Maine. That's going to continue to move to the north and east, about to move into the Rangeley area. So, of course, if you're close enough to hear the thunder, you're close enough to get struck by lightning, so make sure you head indoors. Our high temperatures today, fairly comfortable, and these will be similar to our temperatures as we go through the next couple of days. Most of us will be staying in the upper 70s and lower 80s. So for tonight, again, those showers and storms could stick around for the next several hours, but as we get into tomorrow, high pressure's moving in, so that's going to clear the skies out. We'll start off the day tomorrow in the low to mid 60s. Going throughout the day, we'll make it into those upper 70s and lower 80s again. It is about normal for this time of year. That's usually where we are. So tomorrow's looking pretty good. Skies clearing out fairly quickly, and we'll see mostly sunny skies for the day tomorrow. Once we get into Thursday, looking good again. It's almost an exact repeat of tomorrow. We'll start out with temperatures in the low to mid 60s, make it into those mid to upper 70s by around lunchtime, and then top out in the upper 70s and lower 80s. So after tonight, again, looking pretty good for the next couple of days, so some good news there. We're also still watching Hurricane Gert. Good news is it's not really going to bother us at all. You're probably seeing a little bit of talk about it maybe on social media. It's starting to make that northeastern turn, and it's going to stay well away from us, so good news there. Marine forecast for tomorrow sees around 3 feet, winds from the west at about 5 to 10 knots. So here's our extended forecast. Again, next couple of days look pretty nice. Next chance for some heavy rain after tonight will be Friday into Saturday. Could get a good amount of rain, but it does look like it clears up in time for the weekend, so good news there. Sunday, again, the nicer day than Saturday. It should be pretty nice for most of the weekend, though, once we get that rain out of the way. So next couple days looking good.
Not so bad.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jess.
Thanks.
And we will be right back. Oh, the life of a dog. This couple of pups
That's awesome.
getting some love on Twitter today after this post went viral. This week we're showing you pets who are winning the internet in support of Clear the Shelters Day.
Now, this Saturday, the News Center team will be spread out all over the state, helping get dogs, cats, birds, and all kinds of critters adopted. Many local shelters are discounting or waiving their fees. So for more information about Clear the Shelters Day, you can find all of that on our website and mobile apps.
They're so good. They're keeping it up in the air. That's tough.
Pretty impressive. I mean, I can't even do that with, my best friend. You know what I mean?
You and I could not do that. Well, let's put it out there. You and I could not do that.
We'll have to tally how many they get. We'll tally how many we can get. Very good.
We'll compare
Thanks so
it.
much for joining us. News Center 5:30 starts right now.